we always talk about starting pitching when handicapping these games, but sometimes we don't really touch on the bullpen and the relievers. But it's one of the bigger parts of baseball that I think people don't really touch on. And especially when you're talking about the postseason, closers matter. You need somebody who can come in and shut the door against the best arms in baseball. And we see it. These top end teams always have these great closers, and that's what makes them a top to bottom great team. But one of the best closers in all of baseball has really hit a wall. Josh Hader has now been taken off the closer role in San Diego. This is a guy that the Padres traded for in hopes of making them a better contender, because we all know San Diego has gone all in getting Juan Soto, Josh Bell, even Brandon Drury has been really good for them. But now Josh Hader has allowed 19 runs and 34 base runners in his last 12 and 2/3 innings, dating back to July 1st, including 6 home runs. So far from dominant and far from the closer that we once saw in Milwaukee. Do you think this is a factor that makes you want to step away from placing any kind of bets on the Padres?
Yes, 1,000. And I love Josh Hader. The guy is a hell of a closer, but he has just sort of lost his mind recently. In that game against the Nationals the other night, where he couldn't pitch, he couldn't throw, he couldn't do anything right. And it's weird that this happened with the Brewers before he was traded. He's too good for this to continue, but until he gets it together, I would not touch San Diego.
But here's the thing about closing. Doesn't it seem like such a mental grind for these guys? Because here's the problem I have with Josh Hader. Yeah, if you see the body of work and how good he has been over the course of his career, you would say, well, he deserves the benefit of the doubt. But we've seen this from closers before, most notably with Craig Kimbrell. He was one of the most dominant closers in the game. And then where did he go? Like the Cubs or something? And he just couldn't shut the door. And sometimes I feel like it mentally mounts in their head to where they can't shut the door and they lose their confidence. Because I think closing is one of those roles that it is such a mental game that this really hurts his confidence, and it's not a good thing moving forward. So it's not really a matter of his stuff not playing. I just think it's a mental thing. And so this is not a closer that I'm willing to trust. And clearly the Padres aren't willing to trust either.
I would just stay away from the Padres, stay away from Josh Hader. And this is a team that once again is going to disappoint us. I hope for Josh Hader's sake, he gets it together, because I think you're 1,000% right. When you're a closer, your stuff obviously matters, but it is such a mental game, because you are supposed to be so very focused for such a short period of time, and there's so much pressure on late in those games anyway that if your head isn't right, you're going to lose games, and that's what's happening right now.